are waiting for him to go.
Sorry. No problem.
From the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Awwh Bawumia. Wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags, wave
Charlie, paparazzis, please, paparazzis, please.
All right, because I'm from the TV signal, so always subscribe it. No, I don't watch it. No, I don't like it. I'm right in front of a UPSC auditorium. Now, the flag bearer of NPP, Dr. Awwh Bawumia. Yes, and then all money. The friend is saying the policy systems of a president. Nema also obey and then what they be two anymore. It's no your UPSC auditorium, and I be seeing no assembly. Dear Oba obey. Nabusia say na ere e ko e UPSC number for be bia be abi PM1 say it's abusia yankwo hwe eye de course so UPSC abra eye the flag bearer and the vice president of Ghana Dr. Awwh Bawumia. Yes, I didn't know this same to ye nabusia yankwo hwe. Sebastian, your UPS is here. Yes, Dr. Awwh Bawumia, MPP flag bearer, and all the year in the policies, no, able to traffic part to animal. What at area campus in TB room. Yes, UPSC, and I hear it. You want to it's normally in traffic intelligence, UPS out. UPSC and say traffic pa nti me do ram ke nipa pa we abontin po we abontin po kra no nti me do be dey e be ram okumkom na ai Dr. Bawumia atare on okay
okay fine
yeah down nti okumkom different t-shirt. I know my deal. But it's no don't bring in a air corn. Don't bring in a squat. It's no. Zabusia, yeah, call auditorium. Yes, nine a born. I call you UPSC. Or Henny auditorium. I want to make the corner. One, flashing. You know, ever so. Ne, what the policies, you know, ever to so to obey president, hopefully obey president 2024. The obey and then what the to the flag bearer for the NPP. Set Papa UPSC. UPSC. See, you call UPSC no UPSC. Yes. University of Professional Studies. No yanka sai. Ni papa busia. Ni papa. Nsi yedoko building no outside no. Yes. UPSC.
From where tonight, the leader of the Democratic Party and the party's presidential candidate for the 2024 elections, Dr. Awwh Bawumia, will be addressing the Republic of Ghana. For any person seeking to lead a nation, he or she must have a bold, clear vision to express. Dr. Awwh Bawumia.
Miscalculations being
widely acclaimed, peaceful, transparent, presidential primary. I commend the effort and the parliamentary candidates and party executives to take immediate consistency campaigning team to guarantee our party leaders this longevity in the time of Parliament. Failure to do so is not. It is time.
The road sector tackling as many as 12 interchanges in our country. So as many as 6 interchanges at various stages, including Tamale interchange, how we complete, whilst another 6.
Thank you very much. We have now come to the final end of the program. We are respectfully inviting His Excellency the Vice President, being a flag bearer of the party, to now exit the room. Please respectfully, we are asking you to free the walkway and allow him to leave. We are also asking our First Lady, our Second Lady, to accompany him as he leaves. Security, please free them. Please free the way for him to go.
Sorry. No Charlie, paparazzis, please, paparazzis, please. Sorry.
Yes. This man, God bless you. This man, God bless you. God bless you. You're opening the team. God bless you. Allah bless you more. Allah back on here.
Yes. relax, relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Boy or a girl, with your support and prayers and God's guidance, we can win together. It is possible. Thank you for your attention. God bless you and God bless our woman.
A big round of applause for His Excellency and the leader of the new Patriotic Party, Mrs. Bawumia. Please join your husband on stage as we acknowledge the responses from the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Awwh Bawumia. Wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags. It is. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And as they resume their seats, please let's all resume our seats. Wherever they may be. We are almost at the end of the event.
Let's go, Carnival. Let's go, let's go.
without them, I tell you, we will continue to wallow. So, I witnessed that, I did see it, looking across the field, or the arena of contestants for presidency now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost ready to receive the leader as he delivers his vision statement. Ahead of that though, Ghanaians have been expressing some expectations. Please pay attention to the screens as we recap some of these expectations and introduce to you the leader of the New Patriotic Party.
Expectations I have, no solutions and visionary moment for the future.
My prediction is that we need more jobs in the country. Because as students, there are a lot of unemployment in the country, and also there's a lot of brain drain, whereby students are found to see their country's country.
But by the grace of God, if you make me the president, I will be in the driver's seat. I will be in the driver's seat with constitutionally mandated authority to pursue my vision and my priorities. So what do I want to do in terms of vision and priorities and policies? If you give me the opportunity by the grace of God to become President of the Republic of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, in this regard, I have been engaged in a lot of consultation and doing a lot of thinking in the last few months about the lessons of the last 7 years, as well as my vision and priorities as I seek to become President of the Republic of Ghana. Clearly, the initial conditions that we inherited in 2017 are not the same as will be in 2025. Therefore, my priorities will be different. We have done many good things, and I will be seeking to build upon them. My vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to create a tent big enough to accommodate all our people, to tap into the resourcefulness and talents of our people, irrespective of our different ethnic, political, and religious backgrounds, to channel our energies into building the kind of country that assures food self-sufficient, safe, prosperous, and a dignified future for all Ghanaians. To create sustainable jobs with meaningful pay for all and for Ghana to participate fully in the fourth industrial revolution using systems and data. To realize this vision, we must have a mindset of possibilities and not impossibilities. The challenges we must overcome as a country are too important to let our political differences derail us. There is a critical failure of mindset that manifests itself in the absence of core values, patriotism, and principles within our society. We need to invigorate the can-do spirit of the Ghanaian, to believe that we can do better than we have ever imagined if we put our minds to it. For example, our students from Manfi Girls Senior High School and Prempeh College have won international robotic competitions against their peers in the US, Germany, and South Korea. We must apply the same mindset of beating the world in robotics, sing-a-thons, and cook-a-thons to every sphere. We must believe that it is possible. This must be inculcated in our children from home and in school. This is why we are going to introduce a growth mindset curriculum in our schools to help students build critical skills such as problem solving, risk taking, opportunity spotting, and design thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of macroeconomic stability, a major goal of my government would be to attain and sustain macroeconomic stability with low inflation, low interest rates, exchange rate stability, and low budget deficits. In terms of prudently managing our expenditures, to reduce the budget deficit and interest rates, my government will enhance fiscal discipline through an independent Fiscal Responsibility Council enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2018, Act 982. The Fiscal Responsibility Act will also be amended to add a fiscal rule that requires that budgeted expenditure in any year does not exceed 105% of the previous year's tax revenue. This will prevent the experience of budgetary expenditures based on optimistic revenue forecasts, which many a time do not materialize. Ladies and gentlemen, furthermore, my government will reduce the fiscal burden on government by leveraging the private sector. Under the two-term administration of my boss, His Excellency Awwh Bawumia's government, we have put in place many social safety nets like free SHS, free TVET, and so on. With all these social safety nets in place, my government will now focus on jobs and wealth creation by the private sector for all families. Will incentivize the private sector to complement government in the provision of many infrastructure and other services to reduce government expenditure and improve maintenance. The private sector will be encouraged to build roads, schools, hostels, and houses for government to rent or lease to hold. The demand road construction is massive, and this has historically placed a huge burden on the budget. I believe that the private sector should finance the construction and maintenance of roads through PPP concession arrangements. Also, the government will move towards leasing rather than purchasing vehicles, printing equipment, and so on. The private sector will have the responsibility of maintaining the vehicles and the equipment. With this approach, government can save very significant outright cash out expenditure annually from various items across different ministries, departments, and agencies. This policy will energize the private sector and create many jobs, enhancing the role of the private sector, along with fiscal and administrative decentralization, improving our systems and the way our institutions function will lead to greater efficiency, cutting waste and ensuring value for money in procurement. The move towards private sector provision of many public services would create a fiscal space of at least 3% of GDP annually. This represents a major paradigm shift. Additionally, an efficient system of government will require even fewer ministers. I would have, therefore, no more than 50 ministers and deputies. I want to talk about our tax system. To increase government tax revenue, we have to reform and refocus the Ghana Revenue Authority towards broadening the tax base. Unfortunately, the pressure that is placed on GRA staff to collect revenues makes them focus on existing tax base. Sometimes they even have to go and sit in people's shops to monitor sales, a process known as invigilation. In fact, many businesses feel harassed by this process and the constant audits of their operations. So this has to stop. We must strike the right balance between collecting revenue and allowing businesses to thrive. Our job is to protect the productive forces. The World Bank has estimated that revenues amounting to 13% of GDP, that is $24 billion in 2023, are not collected because people are outside the tax net. Even collecting half or a quarter of this annual will be a game changer for our public finances. To do this, we need to inculcate and enforce a culture of people filing their tax returns. Incentives must be provided to encourage people to file their tax returns, even if they will pay zero taxes. We need a fresh start. The current tax regime has been with us since independence, and it has failed us. Many people do not pay taxes, including property taxes. Too much discretion results in corruption. We want a tax regime that is easy to understand, easy to comply with, and easy to enforce, and that is not subject to so much discretion. Many individuals and businesses find our tax system cumbersome and confusing. My administration will introduce a very simple, citizen and business-friendly flat tax regime. A flat tax of a percentage of income for individuals and SMEs, which constitutes 98% of all businesses in Ghana, with appropriate exemption threshold to protect the poor. With a new flat tax regime, a tax return should be able to be completed in just a few minutes. We will also simplify our complicated corporate tax system and VAT regime. To start the new tax system on a clean slate, my government will provide a tax amnesty, that is a complete exemption from payment of taxes for a specified period and waiving the interest and penalties up to a certain year to individuals and businesses for failures to file taxes in previous years, so that everybody will start afresh.
Unless you don't do business.
Tax digitalization will be implemented across all aspects of tax administration. Everyone will be required to file a very simple tax return electronically through their mobile phone or computer. There will be no manual or paper filing of taxes underlying administration. Assessments by GRA will also be faceless. Faceless assessments will provide transparency and accountability. There will be no need to send GRA officers to go and sit in shops. E-invoicing as being implemented by the GRA will be extended to all countries. Estonia, India, and Mexico provide very useful models for Ghana in the area of tax digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition, any audits by GRA will also be done electronically and faceless. Furthermore, no entity will be audited more than once in 5 years unless anomalies are detected which the individual or company does not correct after to do so. We will amend the law such that if there is a dispute about tax assessment, binding arbitration will take place through a body constituted by institutions such as the Ghana Arbitration Center, Institute of Taxation, AGI, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Private Enterprise Foundation, Ghana Employees Association, and so with a mandate to resolve any appeal in a maximum of 3 months. This will not affect companies, however, who by their agreements have such arbitrations taking place in international jurisdictions. Ladies and gentlemen, with cuts in government expenditure, private sector undertaking expenditure that would normally be done by government, and the new tax regime, the flat tax regime, that will enhance compliance, broaden the tax base, and increase tax revenue. With these policies, the situation we are going to face in 2025 is going to be very different from the situation we faced in 2020 and 2022. With the policy measures implemented so far, we have outperformed the IMF fiscal deficit target of 5% by attaining a fiscal deficit target of 4.2% in 2023. The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax, and the pension tax, without compromising our fiscal deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a Ghana where we leverage technology, data, and systems for inclusive economic growth. I want us to apply digital technology, STEM, robotics, and artificial intelligence for the transformation of agriculture, healthcare, education, manufacturing, fintech, and public service delivery. As part of this process, it is my goal to eliminate the digital divide by achieving close to 100% internet penetration in Ghana. We have already made significant progress in this direction by increasing internet penetration from 34% in 2016 to 72% in 2023. So we've more than doubled internet penetration. The task in the next 4 years is to move from 72% to close to 100% internet penetration. It is possible. I want to see Ghana build the digital talent that we require for the 4th industrial revolution. This will mean providing digital and software skills to hundreds of thousands of youth. This, along with other policies, will create jobs for the youth, including school dropouts. In collaboration with the private sector, we will train at least 1 million youth in IT skills, including software developers, to provide job opportunities. Well, generally, there will be an enhanced focus on TVET education. My government will also support the establishment of a national open university, Ghana, in collaboration with the private sector, with a focus on technical and vocational skills and ICT. Ladies and gentlemen, to help our youth get jobs, I believe it is time to rethink the concept of the current national service scheme. my government will propose that those who after completion of their education can secure jobs will be exempted from national service. National service will no longer be mandated, and students will have the option to decide whether to do national service or not. This will also encourage companies to go to the campuses to recruit annually. This time they don't go because of national service. Ladies and gentlemen, to prepare our children for the 4th Industrial Revolution workplace, I will enhance the reposition of the education system towards STEM, robotics, artificial intelligence, and vocational skills to cope with the demands of the 4th Industrial Revolution and job creation. My government will make coding and robotics standard in senior high school. The foundation for this is being laid with the provision of laptops to senior high school students very soon. Teachers have already been given the requisite training. Following the senior high school, we will also implement a one student, one laptops policy for tertiary students with the provision of a zero interest loan with a 70% discount on the cost of the laptop payable over 4 years for tertiary students who need laptops. Furthermore, to become a digital hub in Africa, Ghana's telecom industry needs more investment. The cost of data for the ordinary Ghanaian has become too expensive. It goes against the very ethos of our digitalization journey. The industry cannot continue to operate at the efficiency and pricing levels of the least efficient operators. The focus has to be on the best efficiency and pricing for the consumer. I commit to working with the industry players in setting clear policy guidelines that will remove any investor uncertainty and difficulties in business planning, including the expeditious allocation of spectrum, driven more by the goal of enhancing digital inclusion and less by revenue consideration. Another area I want to tackle is reducing the cost of living. Ladies and gentlemen, a major priority of my government will be to reduce the cost of living. The cost of living in the world has increased massively following the COVID pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. Global inflation has increased from 1.55% in 2016 to 8.7% at the end of 2022. That is average. This is a 5-fold increase. In particular, the increase in the cost of living has been driven by increases in food prices, energy prices, housing rents, and transport prices. Therefore, any attempt to reduce the cost of living on a sustainable basis must tackle agriculture, energy, housing, and transport prices. And that is exactly what I am going to do. I want a Ghana where we attain food security through the application of technology and irrigation to commercial large-scale farming. We will also promote the use of agricultural lime to reduce the acidity of our soils, enhance soil fertility, and get more yield from the application of fertilizer. Ghana has an abundance of limestone to do this. I will also prioritize the construction of the Awwh Dam by using private sector financing to crowd in grant finance. My administration will also work to reduce the cost of public transport between 30 and 40% with the adoption of electric vehicles for public transportation. Dominated by two variables, the price of fuel and the price of spare parts. Electric vehicles do not use petrol or diesel, and the spare parts are minimal. That is what will bring down the fares for electric vehicles. More importantly, transport fares for electric vehicles will be stable, and the constant and large increases of fares that we have been witnesses will become a thing of the past. Under a housing for all policy, I will also have a major focus on the provision of public housing in the same manner that Singapore did. We will partner with the private sector to build large housing estates as we have started doing, without the government having to borrow or spend. Also, the National Rental Assistance Scheme, which is working so well, will be enhanced to deal with the problem of demands for rent advance of 2 years and more. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the effort to reduce the cost of living, my government will implement policies to have energy self-sufficiency and reduce costs through solar and other renewables with the application of market efficiency to the energy market. We will diversify the generation mix by introducing 2,000 megawatts of solar power and additional wind power through independent power producers to reduce our dependence on oil and gas by the end of my first term in office. Introducing solar power will significantly reduce the cost of electricity. The fact that the current residential, commercial, and industrial consumers' power is still neither reliable nor competitive is the testament that the regulatory and administrative measures so far implemented have not fully achieved the objectives we have set for ourselves in dealing with the legacy issues we inherited. Therefore, like the telecom market, we shall work to bring efficiency of markets and expand competition from the more private sector participation in generation and retail. With reliable and cost-competitive power, we will attract more manufacturing capacity into the country, create jobs, improve services, export more products, and support our AFCFTA strategy to improve the participation of Ghanaian industries in intra-African exports and trade. Ladies and gentlemen, to assist in the transition to green energy, my government will abolish import duty on solar panels so that we can bring it in. I now turn to our natural resources. Ladies and gentlemen, as President, I will usher into Ghana a golden age for the maximization of the benefits from our natural resources like gold, lithium, bauxite, and so on. The key to doing this is value addition and Ghanaian ownership. We need a new paradigm in natural resource contracts. Some of the key policies I will implement to maximize our benefits from our natural resources will include the formalization, regularization, and regulation of environmentally sustainable small-scale mining. About 1 million people are engaged in small-scale mining in Ghana. Our goal would be to help grow small-scale mining companies into large-scale companies with capacity building and assisting them to access finance for acquiring equipment. We intend to create many millionaires in the small-scale mining industry. My government will support the Minerals Commission and key stakeholders to formalize the artisanal and small-scale gold mining sector with the objective of ensuring that activities of the entire value chain are sustainably and responsibly done so that most of the gold produced by this sector can be sold to the Bank of Ghana and be eligible to be part of Ghana's gold reserves at the central bank. In line with this, we will license all miners doing responsible mining. District mining committees, including the chiefs, will provide initial temporary licenses to the miners. As long as miners mine within the limits of their licenses, that is, no mining in river bodies and so on. As long as they mine within the limits of their licenses, we will no longer be any seizure or burning of excavators. I will fully decentralize the Minerals Commission as well as the Environmental Protection Agency and ensure that they are all present in mining districts. Every Ghanaian small-scale mining operator will register under the Ghana Small-Scale Miners Association with their Ghana card. We will, in collaboration with the large mining companies, convert abandoned shafts into community mining schemes, and we will open more and new community mining schemes. District mining committees would be responsible for reclamation and replant, and we will institute a pension scheme for small-scale miners like we have done for cocoa farmers. We will introduce vocational and skills training on sustainable mining for small-scale miners in the curriculum of TVET institutions and provide equipment to government authorities in the mining communities to undertake reclamation of land. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also set up a state-of-the-art common user gold processing units in mining districts in collaboration with the private sector. My government will also conduct an audit of all concessions with various licenses and new applications. This will allow government to know licenses that have expired and non-compliance with licensing conditions. To encourage exploration, I will abolish the VAT on exploration services, like I said, to encourage more exploration. We will establish, in collaboration with the private sector, a minerals development bank. Just as we have a great development bank for agriculture, we will have a minerals development bank for the mining. To support the industry, we will establish through the private sector the London Bullion Market Association certified gold refinery in Ghana within 4 years. And all responsibly mined small-scale gold produced will be sold to the central bank, the BMMC, or the Minerals and Income Investment Fund, MIF, and will be required. All the small-scale gold mined in Ghana, there will be a requirement that they are refined before they leave Ghana. We'll have to refine them. Ladies and gentlemen, the increase in Ghana's gold reserves to support the city. Ladies and gentlemen, a major factor influencing macroeconomic stability is the consistent depreciation of the cedi against foreign currencies. This is usually caused by pressure on our foreign exchange reserves. Appreciably, increasing our reserves of gold at the central bank, combined with prudent fiscal policy, is therefore one of the surest ways to keep the exchange rate stable. Two policies that helped to rescue the economy from catastrophe in the recent crisis were the Bank of Ghana's gold purchase program and the Gold for Oil program. The domestic gold purchase program of the Bank of Ghana is a program where the central bank boosts its foreign exchange reserves by buying locally produced gold with cedis. Before this program, the total of Ghana's gold reserves since independence was 8.7 tons. That's the total we held since independence. This compares to 3,352 tons for Germany, 2,814 tons for the IMF, 2,451 tons for Italy, and 8,133 tons for the United States. it did not make sense to me that Ghana, the largest gold producer in Africa, will have some of the lowest holdings of gold reserves in the world. So I proposed to the Bank of Ghana to start a gold purchase program. The Gold for Oil program, on the other hand, allows the payment for oil imports with gold. So importers provide cedis which the Bank of Ghana uses to buy gold and pays the suppliers of the oil. This reduces the pressure on Ghana's foreign exchange reserves and stabilizes the rate. Ladies and gentlemen, it will interest you to know that since this program started, the Bank of Ghana has purchased 26 tons of gold at $1.73 billion. The government of Ghana Gold for Oil program, which also started in late December 2022, has purchased 16 tons of gold at $1.06 billion. That has been available for the import of petroleum products. Together, the gold for reserves and the gold for oil programs have unlocked $2.79 billion to meet external payments of the country in just over a year. These two policies have allowed us to build foreign exchange reserves and pay for critical imports like fuel, stabilize the exchange. It is important to note that the $2.7 billion that we have unlocked is almost equivalent to the $3 billion loan that we have obtained from the IMF, which is going to be disbursed over 3 years. What is clear to me is that if we had started implementing these policies, say 20 years ago, Ghana would be in a very different situation today. But it is never too late, and we have started, and we will continue. Ladies and gentlemen, given the large amount of gold reserves Ghana has, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Ghana has 7 large gold belts, stretching from Axim and Winnipeg to Nangodi and Laura. According to the Geological Survey Department, the belts cover an area of 43,000 square kilometers, with about 50%, that is 21,000 kilometers, not yet explored. The conservative estimate is that the potential quantum of gold in these unexplored belts is around 5 billion ounces. This has a market value today of $10 trillion US. My government will engage exploration experts from the universities and the geological institutions to assist in exploring our 7 gold belts. However, if even only 5% of the 5 billion ounce estimate materials, only 5%, it will be a game changer for Ghana. My government will provide the Geological Survey Department and our universities with resources annually to undertake a mapping of areas where we have gold reserves. As a matter of policy, we will legislate that concessions in areas with proven gold reserves that we will fund, 100% of those concessions will be given to Ghanaians We can easily raise the capital required and hire the expertise once the gold reserves are proven. Our policy will be to build Ghana's gold reserves appreciably to reach a point where we have sufficient gold reserves to keep our external payments position sustainably strong. This, along with a supportive fiscal discipline, will provide long-term stability for the exchange rate of the city, and at the same time reduce our dependence on the Eurobond market for finance. I believe that the maximization of the benefits from our natural resources will help create jobs, improve livelihoods, and also improve the conditions of service of Ghanaian lives. I now come to industrialization. Ladies and gentlemen, I will continue our policy of industrialization in areas such as agro-processing, cocoa, cashew, shea nuts, and so salt, gold, lithium, refining, and manufacture of batteries and automobile assembly and manufacturing. And also empower the local business sector, especially startups and SMEs, to drive investment and growth in them, thus significantly boosting job creation. We must also protect local industry from smuggled imports that evade import duties. Ladies and gentlemen, special economic zones will be created. These are the free zones in collaboration with the private sector at Ghana's major border towns such as Aflawo, Pada, Enugu, Sankase, and Tatale to enhance economic activity, increase exports, and reduce smuggling and create jobs. Tema Port will be fully automated and benchmarked to be as efficient as some of the best ports in the world like Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai. Also, there will be a new policy of aligning import duties and charges at the Tema Port to the import duties and charges at the Lomé Port in Togo. Togo and Lomé is our main competitor. This will reduce smuggling and tax avoidance. Also, for spare parts imported, duties will be at a flat rate per container, 20 foot or 40 foot. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now move to dealing with corruption. I entered politics to serve the nation. My passion is solving problems. My passion is helping the poor, vulnerable, and disadvantaged in society. Accumulation of wealth is not, has never been a passion or an ambition. This is why throughout my public life, I have pursued policies, especially through digitalization, to check corruption in places like the ports, the DVLA, the NHIS, the passport office, the controller and government general. So I have a solid track record in fighting corruption, and I have earned a reputation for doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most potent weapons against corruption is transparency. Many corrupt activities are cash-based. Apart from the obvious economic benefits of moving in the direction of a cashless society, the literature does indicate that the more electronic payments are used in transactions as opposed to cash, the more there is traceability for cash. Recently, the Bank of Ghana has completed a pilot of a digital version of the Ghana cedi in Sefirios. This is known as the Central Bank Digital Currency, or the e-cedi. The e-cedi is designed to work online and offline, and will be launched by the Bank of Ghana in due course. In my humble opinion, the e-cedi, with appropriate privacy protections, will be the ultimate weapon in our fight against corruption, because it will provide transparency, reduce the risk of fraud, robbery, tax avoidance, and money laundering, since it will be easy to track the movement of money and identify suspicious activity. The e-cedi will quicken the pace of Ghana's move towards a cashless or near cashless society. Ladies and gentlemen, to move towards a cashless economy, however, we have to encourage the population to use electronic channels of payment. To accomplish this, under my administration, there will be no taxes on digital payments. The e-levy will therefore be abolished. I will also publish online details of all public contracts for public scrutiny. Ladies and gentlemen, in advanced economies, workers are able to easily access credit to purchase basic items such as televisions, cars, and houses. They are able to do so because the credit system works, and it is supported by individualized credit scoring by credit rating agencies. In Ghana, the credit system is yet to develop, and therefore life is harder for workers. It is my goal to make it easier and cheaper to access credit by leveraging on our data and systems, such as the Ghana Card, Ghana Post GPS, mobile money interoperability, DVLA, GRA, bank accounts, and all those to build an efficient credit system and the mortgage market in Ghana, underpinned by individualized credit scoring and the digitalization of land titling and transfer. We look forward to starting individualized credit scoring in Ghana this year, and will make it easy for Ghanaians to access credit at lower interest rates. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that when it comes to a national development plan, I believe we can find broad contours of a national development plan for which we can find consensus in areas such as education, health, industrialization, environment, and so on. I will support a consensus national development plan. Specifically, I will propose to amend Article 87 of the 1992 Constitution, as well as the NDPC Act at 479, to mandate political party manifestos and consequently economic and social policies of government, as well as budgets, to be aligned to the agreed upon broad contours in specific sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, the current constitution was designed mainly for political stability, and it has achieved that. We need to amend it with the help of Parliament to align it more for national development. In that context, I am committed to the process to amend the 1992 Constitution through extensive public consultation with key emphasis on issues such as ex gratia, rights of dual citizens, elections of MMDCs, deepening decentralization, empowering institutions, while reducing the power of the president. Ladies and gentlemen, I want a Ghana where we place an emphasis on values and doing the right things, with the human factor playing its appropriate role in curbing corruption, bribery, crime, dishonesty, and so on. A culture of governance founded on ethical values, transparency, professionalism, and meritocracy, to create a modern government machinery that exhibits more intensity and determination to impose order, discipline, and enforce compliance of the rules and regulations that are in place. In this regard, we will have a strong partnership between government and faith-based organizations. The contribution of faith-based organizations, for example, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Christian Council, Pentecostal Council, the Muslim Council, in areas such as education, health, infrastructure, youth development, and so on, is very significant and complements government's efforts. And so we are going to have them benefit from many of the incentives that we offer to some of our external development partners. Ladies and gentlemen, I will also have a major focus on policies, tax and other incentives to increase private and public investment in tourism, creative arts and sports. More jobs for more job creation. We will build on the year of return, beyond the return and December in Ghana. We will also introduce initiatives such as digital streaming platforms for our artists and tax incentives to make tourism and creative arts a growth pool. Tax incentives will also be provided for film producers and musicians. To boost tourism and job creation, my government will implement an e-visa policy for all international travel visitors to Ghana to enable visas to be obtained in minutes subject to security and criminal checks. Ladies and gentlemen, sports is a multi-million-dollar industry and an enabler for the youth. However, we have not realized our full sports potential, and we cannot maximize the full potential of Ghana sports with the same funding module we have operated since independence. My government will therefore prioritize the creation of incentives for corporate sponsorship as a sustainable model of financing sports development and promotion of our national teams, including football, athletics, boxing, at all levels. This will take the financial pressure off government and also enable government to redirect more support to other sports disciplines. My government, as part of a broad sports development vision, will establish the Ghana Sports Secretariat, which will be an agency under the ministry responsible for sports in collaboration with other stakeholders such as the Ghana Education Service and sports federations. My government will also see school-level collaboration with international sports bodies like the NBA and the NFL to make Ghana a hub for these emerging sports in Africa to create more opportunities for our young people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have already tried this with the NFL, the governing body for American football, which agreed to host in Ghana in 2022. Which agreed to host in Ghana in 2022, the first ever NFL flag football in Africa, after my engagement with them. This paved the way for 10 young Ghanaians to be selected to the United States to represent Africa in the global NFL tournament last year. Another set of young Ghanaians who were picked after the second NFL Africa football was also held in Ghana last year are currently in the United States to represent Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a nation that cares for the interests of the poor and the vulnerable, like persons with disabilities, the aged, street kids, lepers, cerebral palsy patients, and so on, in collaboration with faith-based institutions and the private sector. My government will also focus on special needs. To start with, we will recruit 1,000 special needs education teachers and retrain teachers on how to work with special needs students. We will also train more speech and language therapists and occupational and behavioral therapists. Ladies and gentlemen, We have secured visa-free travel to a growing list of countries for the benefit of our citizens and businesses. However, the acquisition of passports by Ghanaians at home and abroad has continued to be difficult for many, even though it has significantly improved. So far, Ghana has about 4.5 million passport holders and 17 million people enrolled on the Ghana card, which is also an e-passport. To make it easy for Ghanaians to obtain passports, under my government, any Ghana card holder would only have to pay a fee for a passport. You don't have to apply for a passport when you hold a Ghana card. If you are a holder of a Ghana card, you will not need to apply separately for a passport. You just need to provide your Ghana card number, pay the fee on your mobile phone. This is because the Ghana card apply for your passport and pay for it. It can be delivered to your home using your digital. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Bawumia administration will also prioritize the full implementation of the Affirmative Action Act as should hopefully have been passed by January 2025. Under my government, free senior high school education will continue. The government will also expand infrastructure at medical schools as well as the Ghana Law School to support an increase in admission for students for medical and legal studies. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just my initial ideas. I have not covered every sector. This is not the manifesto. The manifesto is coming. So far, I have spoken about my contributions, my vision, my priorities and goals. In conclusion, the choice Ghanaians face in 2024 is between Vice President Bawumia and former President Mahama. It is fundamentally a choice between the future and the past.
This guy gonna kill people.
We have to ask ourselves a number of questions in making that choice. If you want someone you can trust to come up with innovative and impactful ideas to transform Ghana, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you want someone with personal integrity who can be trusted to fight corruption, then your choice is Dr. And if you want someone you can trust to work hard and tirelessly and selflessly for Ghana, it is Dr. Bawumia. If you want a leader who has a proven record and who you can trust to create jobs for the youth, it is Dr. Bawumia. If you want a man or woman, in this case, we are two men and he. If you want a man to trust to take care of the poor, disabled, and the vulnerable, it is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for a man who has the vision and commitment to prepare Ghana for the fourth industrial revolution, then it is Dr. Bawumia. Protecting and using our natural resources for the benefit of all Ghanaians. It is Dr. Bawumia. Who will be more accountable to Ghanaians? A one-term president like my competitor, or a person who can look to the long-term development of Ghana because of 2 terms? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who can you trust to protect and improve free senior high school education? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who can you trust to improve the national health insurance scheme and improve the quality of health care in Ghana? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who has demonstrated a commitment to the development of deprived communities like the Zongo communities. It is Dr. Bawumia.
24 hours.
Many people have said that I am the most impactful vice president in Ghana's I do not intend to compare what I have achieved as vice president under President to that of a vice president who could not perhaps make a mark. I will let you be the judge of that. But I can say that I have never been president of this country before. I am presenting myself to you for the first time to ask for your precious vote to serve you as your president. In all humility, I would like you to give me the opportunity to become one of the most
You have it 24 hours.
These are measures that should put us on the right path and transform our economy. I know that many of us might be tempted to say that we have had many bright and even great ideas before, and that will be true. Many will say the problem we have is not lack of ideas, but implementation. Many will say the problem is leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer only what has guided me throughout my life. Hard work, personal integrity, accountability, and selfless leadership. I am determined to make a difference, a positive difference. I will work for you and with you, with honesty and integrity, with wisdom and decisiveness. I have clarity in my mind as to what I want to do from day one if you make me president. know what I stand for. You know my vision. My vision is about your mission. I believe in the ingenuity of the Ghanaian. Together, we can succeed in building a progressive society of possibilities, enterprise, compassion, open opportunities, and a shared prosperity for every Ghanaian, born rich or poor, born from the north or the south, born Christian or Muslim, a boy or a girl. With your support and prayers and God's guidance, we can win together. It is possible. Thank you for your attention. God bless you and God bless our woman.
A big round of applause for His Excellency and the leader of the new Patriotic Party, Mrs. Bawumia. Please join your husband on stage as we acknowledge the responses from the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Awwh Bawumia. Wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags. It is. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And as they resume their seats, please let's all resume our seats. Wherever we may be, we are almost at the end of